Hey, what's up YouTube? TDNRider here, coming at you with a Duel video. So this is game 2, and if you missed game 1, there is somewhere on your screen an annotation with a link to game 1, so definitely go check it out. Either way, since I won game 1, my opponent goes first, and he drew a XYZ Reborn, and he's already got a Cercion, Whaler, Dark Illusion, Heliotrope, and Forbidden Garment. Forbidden Dress, actually, is they called in TCG. I got double Marksman, Controller, Gandhi, and an Undine. So yeah, let's get into it. He just summoned his Heliotrope, set the dress and their Dark Illusion, and passed the turn. There was nothing else to do, really. So I drew into a Diva, but just normal summoned my Undine because I didn't want to draw into my second controller, because I'm only running two of them, so the Undine would be dead, and controller is also a pretty dead card, so I just want to get out of my deck. And also I can search with my Dragoons. So I search for with the Dragoons for what's it called? Megalo, exactly. I just wanted to put my monster on the field as long as I can, because once Ophion is on the field, I have a hard time bringing my big monster on the field. So I just did that, and I'm sorry. Um, I also wanted to get rid of his back row, so I just discarded the two marksmans. I summoned it, targeted those two set cards, and used the effect of Megalo to add a card to my hand, but he then changed Whaler to my Megalo, which is actually not the worst move. Keep in mind, you don't want to Whaler the Undine, because it is a cost to send the water monster to the graveyard, so Whaler cannot stop that. And also, if you Whaler and Undine, they still have their controller in their deck, so yeah, not the best move to do. And then he changed the Forbidden Dress to my Megalo, so it will be at 1800 attack points, so I cannot run over his Heliotrope, which is actually not that bad for him. So yeah, I just ended my turn. I had nothing else to do. Now he drew into a Safe Zone, which is actually a pretty decent card, and then he summoned Cercion and overlaid for I'm sorry, Ophion. Overlaid for Ophion, and I'm not quite sure why he didn't use its effect to grab a pandemic infection, but he just didn't do that. I don't know why, but yeah. So he set his safe zone and his XYZ Reborn and passed the turn. Now I drew into my second Diva. And double Diva is actually not that bad, as you can see right now. I just summoned my Diva. I used its effect to bring out I'm sorry, infantry, and now summoned the second Diva. And since this is game 2, I sided an Air Orca. Air Orca is a really decent card, especially if you can bring it out with Diva. It gets rid of your opponent's like Macrocosmos, D-Fishers, Port Ophion as well, Lagia, and all that stuff you don't want have him to on the you don't want him to have on the field. So just use its effect, and you can. Its effect reads: once per turn, you can banish one fish, sea serpent, or aqua type. So pretty much a water monster from your hand to the from your hand to target one face-up card your opponent controls. Destroy the target, then banish this card until your next standby phase. So yeah, pretty decent actually. And also it causes your opponent to miss timing, so if they're playing like E-Hero and they have a Shining on the field, you can use your Air Orca, then banish it, and they won't get two elementals from the banish zone back to their hand. So just keep that in mind. So I wanted to get rid of it. I wanted to get rid of his Ophion, and I just used its effect. I banished my Agundi as cast, but then he changed safe zone, and since Air Orca cannot destroy the card, it will stay on the field, so just keep that in mind. But then, since I knew this was a safe zone, I wanted to overlay for Sandmains, because Sandmains can destroy also spell and trap cards, as well as monsters. So I just used that, and to take less damage, and if he has like a Mirror Force or something, I went for Gashi. So Siemens is now at 1925 defense, so it's pretty big monster actually, and I just attacked into it, into Ophion, takes the 600 damage, but I can deal with that. And then during the end phase, I destroyed the safe zone, and by doing that, I destroyed the Ophion. But as you can see, he now just in the end phase used the XYZ Reborn, which is actually not that bad of a move. XYZ Reborn is actually a pretty busted card, not only for Verz, also for XYZ based deck, pretty much any. So yeah. But as you can see right now, he's down to one card, and yeah, I got that one. Even if I got my controllers, that's not the worst. Better a controller than something else. Nothing, I mean. Now he drew into a safe zone, and he just attacked over my what's it called, infantry. Took some damage, didn't matter, and now he set his safe zone. Then I drew into an MST, and I just used it on his safe zone. So I didn't knew at that time it was a safe zone, but I just used it because I didn't want to run into a deep prison or something else. Then he targeted my Sam mains, and would have been destroyed, but I can use its effect to detach one, and since now the effect is used during the end phase, I can use its effect to destroy a monster, so the Ophion will get destroyed during the end phase. So I just summon my controller, which is now by the effect of Gashi and 1800 beater, which is actually not that bad, and now the effect of Summons kicks in and destroys the Ophion. So now I got the advantage. I have Summons, a live Gashi, and a controller on the field. My opponent has got nothing. And pretty much I was like talking to myself, well, unless he now draws into a Cercion, I got this game. But you guessed it, he drew into Cercion. I was like, oh wow, really? He just summoned it and did the stuff, summoned the Heliotrope from his hand, and then he overlaid for Ophion. And now I'm still not quite sure why he didn't use it. Probably, well, I'm guessing he took out the pandemic infections. That's really well, there's literally no reason why he wouldn't use its effect. Yeah, I don't know why that. Also, it could be a misplay, but yeah, use its effect. Well, actually, he could have taken out. He could have taken out his. Oh, I can see his deck. Taken out his lances there because he did. He sided them out. Oh wow! I did not knew that, and I also didn't knew I can see his deck. So apparently he took out infection because he pretty much knew I am going to take out my torrentials and that stuff, which I actually did. So there is literally no reason for them to. Actually, that's a pretty decent move. Didn't know that. So yeah, either way, let's go ahead. So I drew into an Undine, which was there because I'm only running two controllers. So I just set my auto controller to have a monster on the field, and yeah. So now he drew into Epidemic Virus, which was a pretty dead card, but I got my Undine, so it's like a waste of turns. And now that's a key play, actually. Well, that could actually be a Lindy because there was no Lindy involved yet, so I still have 3 in my deck. But now he attacked over my Sam mains, which was not the best thing to do, I would say. Well, if it was a Lindy, then I would have still 3 monsters on the field, and when he attacks over my Samus, I just have 2. So, well, we can argue about that, but I would attack over it. He now sets the EV as bluff pretty much. And now I drew into another Space Typhoon and just used it. Why not? And now I summoned my Undine. I can't use its effect because I have no controllers in my deck. So I summon it, and now I overlay them for Leviathan Dragon, use its effect to bump it up to 2900 attack, and attack over his Ophion. It's pretty much the easiest way to get over Ophion. Just run over it. And from there on, I was pretty much in a winning position, because I still have my Gashi and 2900 beater, which is already on the field, so Evil Swarm has a problem about the big beaters. So now I drew into a Dragoons, and well, I just didn't want to summon it, because if he drew a Mirror Force, I would get rid of both of my monsters, so I just attacked with Leviathan. And then he used the Compose, which was not that big of a deal actually. He just got rid of it, but yeah, I still didn't want to summon my Dragoons, since he draws something else, like a Dark Hole or something, that would suck. And also, I hoped actually to draw a discarding outlet like Pike or something, because then I could plus off from it. But yeah, that didn't happen. He now drew some Maxi, which was a pretty dead card, but yeah, what you get. And here I sided a Maxi. I'm not quite sure why I sided that, but hey, it worked out for me. I still won the game. So yeah, I summoned now my Dragoons and start beating him down a little bit. Because even if I knew, if he now has a top deck Rabbit, I still can use my Maxi and plus off from it. So yeah. Now, actually I can just play it from here on. He now drews into Heliotrope. He didn't want to summon it. I'm not quite sure why, but he has the life point left, so yeah. And now here I drew Zeldas, and that was pretty much game, because I added my marksman and now I summon it. And before I enter my battle phase, this is also a key play. Before I enter the battle phase, he used his Maxi. And so I knew, well, he's probably playing Ghost or Tragodia, so I just want him to get a death draw, because I knew with Dragoons and a live marksman I have game on the field, so I just attacked with Dragoons first. So if that card was a Tragodia or Gors, I still can attack directly with marksman, and otherwise if there was not a Gors, I still can attack with marksman and then go for game. So I attacked with Dragoons, no Gors, no Tragodia. Now I attacked with marksman directly, and even if he even if the attack of marksman kicks now in, even if he drew Gors or Tragodia, he could not use its effect, because they actually have to activate their effect in response to the effect of marksman, or if I choose not to activate it, just when they took the battle damage, not when I summon something. So yeah. And now even if he drew a Gors, he couldn't drop it, because that's the last attack I got. So yeah, and his life points were down. So keep that in mind. So yeah, this is game 2. I 2-0'd him, but he's definitely a decent player, I would say. So yeah, TDNRider signing out. Have a nice day.